So today we are going to be talking to y'all about violent video games. 97% of children ages 12 to 17 play violent video games. This equals out to a $21.53 billion industry, and more than half of those top-selling games contain violence. This is found from an article of Do Violent Video Games Contribute to Violence? Today we're here to persuade you on why we believe violent video games should not be allowed for children under a certain age. The risk involved include aggression, effects on your body, and other negative effects. We've found sufficient evidence over the topic of violent video games, and we've obtained the knowledge in order to present it to y'all today. We come from a generation of kids who grew up playing outside and using our imagination versus kids today just sit inside and play violent video games. They miss out on a lot of developmental skills. Today we're going to cover why violent video games can lead to aggression, the effects they have on the human's body, and some statistics on how addictive they can be.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is how violent video games can lead to aggression. So the APA, the American Psychological Association, did a study on this, and they got two groups of kids. The teenagers were playing violent video games, and the kids were playing non-violent video games. And they studied each group of kids, and in the end, the teenagers who played the violent video games were much more aggressive. They had much more aggressive thoughts, just general emotions have decreased also with that. And then a little side note for that is a lot of the shooting incidents today have come from kids who have violent video games in their past. There's actually ABC News reported on this, and the lady who reported it was Kelly Megan. And they had officers go and look at the past school shootings, everything like that, and it was linked to violent video games, which ultimately led to desensitization and then aggression.
Okay, so secondly, I would like to talk about how violent video games can affect the human body. According to the article, How Video Games Affect the Brain, they say that violent video games can lead to structural changes in the brain, changes in punctuality in the brain, and lastly, changes in the behavior in the brain. Violent video games actually decrease your cognitive abilities in your brain, such as your reasoning, memory, and processing speed. Scientists have shown that individuals prone to playing violent video games are more likely to have PTSD or depression. Your hippocampus is a part of your brain that is responsible for the healthy cognitive and your memory. And this part can be affected by playing violent video games because it will shrink the gray matter in your brain, which is basically like the cells in the hippocampus, and a lack of gray matter can lead to many problems as you get older, such as dementia or Alzheimer's disease. And this is all according to the article. Certain types of video games are affecting your brain.
Lastly, we're going to cover some statistics on how addictive video games are and why they become so addictive. Video game addiction is described as impulse control disorder. It's shown that the average length of time playing per week is about 20 hours. There's 24 hours in a day, so that adds up pretty quickly. And approximately 72% of households are playing video games every week. In another survey, it says that 9% of 3,034 participants are addicted to the video games. This is from the article Alarming Video Game Addiction Stats, and they also go into detail about how a majority of those are violent as well. Worldwide, approximately 10 million individuals are considered to be addicted to video games. One reason they are so addictive is because they are designed that way. Gaming designers make the game challenging enough so that you want to reach the next level, but not too difficult to where you want to quit. This is recognized as gambling addiction. And then we have some...
Yeah, we have a PowerPoint. So with this diagram is basically showing the aggression in the video game. So as you can see, the dark blue is aggression of individuals playing violent video games. And then in this one is the video game sales, and these are all violent video games. And as we can see, 2013 was 15.4 billion in sales, and as as we can see today, it's $20 billion in sales. And then this is the age breakdown. In this diagram, you will see that children under the age of 16 are prone to violent video games, and it's increasing every day.
And in conclusion, violent video games have led to aggression and is affecting the brain in a negative way. I hope the evidence we showed you will persuade you on this, and I hope you feel the same way about violent video games as we do. Today we have talked about how violent video games have led to aggression, and also how these violent video games have affected the brain and how addictive they are. Lastly, we talked about the statistics of addictivity, like I said, and then thank y'all, and have a great day.
Thank you.